Okay, today we are going to be discussing the TV and film adaptations of some of the books I've read. So we're going to go to my bookshelf and grab all of those books. Okay, let's grab all the books. Okay, hopefully I didn't forget one. Do we think I can carry these all? I just need to throw them on my bed. Me posing for thumbnail. I would like to preface this with the fact that I don't watch TV and I do not watch movies very often. I don't even have a TV in my room because I'm not like other girls, obviously. Spoiler alert, a lot of these aren't good. So, there are a few in here that I actually really liked. So, it's not all bad. It's not all drama. It's, you know. Okay, we're gonna start with the most heartbreaking one for me personally, and it's the I Am Number 4 movie adaptation. So, this book is about aliens, basically, and they're on Earth. And in the book, in the whole series, their powers are described so well. The movie must have had like a $4 budget. It was pretty on par with what happens. Like nothing really stuck out to me as, oh, that doesn't match up or whatever. That like CGI, is that what it is of it? Am I allowed to put a clip of a movie in a YouTube video? You know the video from that one movie where the birds are like attacking people? I hope you know what I'm talking about. That's what it reminded me of when I was watching it. Okay, looking back, I don't know, it's definitely not that bad. I think I was just disappointed by the movie. My fault for comparing it to that bird video. You can't do a sci-fi adaptation and the editing be bad. That's not... Anyway, it was really sad because this is the coolest book ever to me. Okay, now we have Hunger Games. Listen, I did not read this as a preteen or a teenager. I read this when I was 20 and I read Catching Fire and I almost finished Mockingjay, but I just gave up and then I found out how it ended and that was terrible. I watched the movie before I ever read the book. It seemed fine. I know a lot of people love both. Okay, cat hair. I know a lot of people love both. I don't think I'm a big enough fan of Hunger Games to like really talk about it, but I thought both were fine. You know? So, to all the boys I loved before. Oh no. To all the boys I loved before. So this is my favorite movie. And I read the movie. I watched the movie a million times before I read this book. I was watching it from the time it came out, and I read this when I was 20 or 21. And I was like, how old? 15 when the movie came out? The only thing that really stuck out to me when I read the book after watching the movie was in the movie, they just kind of dance around how her mom died. And in the book, they just tell you. And I don't know if it would have been that big of a deal if they explained that in the movie, other than for time purposes, it was unnecessary. But, I mean, she fell and hit her head and then didn't wake up the next morning. So, because they just never say it in the movie. And I was always curious. And I was like, cool. I mean, not cool. That's not cool at all. All the Bright Places. This book is fantastic. Holy shit, the movie is bad. It's literally bad. In this, Finch is obviously bipolar. And in the movie, he just seems like some weird kid who like doesn't like rules and can't sit still. And then so when he... Did I already say there's gonna be spoilers in this? There's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this. When he dies at the end of the movie, it's like whiplash. Like you kind of felt like he wasn't gonna be around too long in the book while reading this because you could tell how fragile his mental health was. oh my god, in the movie he just dies. And I was like, hey guys, what was that? Which is a shame, because this was such a good, like, depiction. I don't know why that was so hard for me to remember that word. This was such a good depiction of, like, undiagnosed mental health as a teenager. And then the movie just, like, I don't even know. Okay, everything. I thought this movie was great. And I thought this book was great. Very on par with the book from what I can remember. I love the actors in the movie as well. I can't think of their names, but I think the casting was really well done. I don't know, I really liked it. I thought it was a good one. You know. Okay, now we have one that I really loved. A Man Called Uva. This is written and set in Sweden, and I know there's a Swedish version of the movie. I did not watch that one. I watched the Americanized version with Tom Hanks in it, and it's called A Man Called Otto. And instead of the family, where's the family from in the book? I don't know where the foreign family is from, but like in the movie, they're just from Mexico, I believe is what it was. So it's just more Americanized, but other than that, it was so on par with the book. Honestly, the way that it brought everything to life was so perfect. And Tom Hanks is just, he's the guy. Like, you know, Tom Hanks is just the guy ever. And he did so good in this. And I haven't seen a movie with him in so long. I think I've seen, obviously he's in Toy Story as Woody. The only movies I've seen with him are like Forrest Gump, Castaway. What's the movie where he, like, is the pilot? I've seen part of that. And other than that, like, I don't think I've really seen that many Tom Hanks movies. Casting is everything when you're making a book into a film or a TV show, because if you pick a person who cannot connect the story well enough, you're screwed. Like, you're literally screwed. But, like in this, like, you can... Bye, Emma. My roommate's waving at me. You could not have cast anyone other than, oh my god, what's her name? Lana Condor. Jeez, I knew it also started with an L. But you could not have cast anyone other than the people who are in this movie. Peter Kavinsky as Noah Centineo, like, Laura Jean as Lana Condor, and, like, Kitty, okay, actually Margot was cast really poorly. You can tell she's 30, and she's supposed to be 17. I don't know why they did that. But the dad and Chris and Jen, you could not have cast it better. Lucas was really good too. I mean, they kind of fucked up the John Ambrose thing in the second movie. That's none of my business. The casting in these is what made it so good. You could not have cast any other people, in my opinion. Speaking of Noah Centineo, walk with me. We're gonna talk about Red, White, and Royal Blue. I think the movie is bad. First of all, I love this book. Cutting out the sister, whatever her name is it June? Yeah. Anyway, cutting out the sister, not emphasizing the emails, the casting. Listen, I think Nicholas Galitzine, what's his name?
Galitzine.
And Taylor Zakar Perez, they're fine separately. You could tell they were acting. Like, first of all, neither of them seem gay, which might just be me being annoying. And I know that Nicholas Galitzine, like, was in Bottoms, and I think he's gay in that. I loved Nicholas Galitzine in, like, The Idea of You. We'll talk about that. Also, did I grab that? I didn't grab The Idea of You. Hang on. I also forgot to grab It Ends With Us, but anyway, I loved him in this movie with Anne Hathaway, which maybe it was Anne Hathaway, who knows. But I did not like him in this. It literally missed every single mark. And I would like to propose my casting of this. Walk with me, please. Harry Styles as Prince Henry. That's his name, right? Yes. And Noah Centineo as Alex Claremont Diaz. Maybe they're both a little too old to be playing the character, but they're old for playing these characters. They're supposed to be, like, just out of college, I think. But imagine Harry Styles is our Prince Henry and Noah Centineo is Alex Claremont Diaz. No one has ever agreed with me in that, so I was so disappointed by this movie. I have watched it many times, though. I'm not gonna act like I didn't. More Nicholas Goldstein. I thought this movie was pretty good. So I really liked this book. Apparently this was originally a fan fiction. Love that. The casting is Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Goldstein. I love Anne Hathaway. She is the coolest person ever to me. And you could never make me hate her. Like, when people are like, I don't like Anne Hathaway, I'm like, you must be so miserable. But I thought the casting in this was great. And I thought that the aging up of the daughter was good. And they also closed the age gap between them a little bit. Because I think in this, what's his name? Hayes? Yeah, Hayes is 20 in the book. But I think he's like 24 in the movie or something. And the songs... Oh my god, that is One Direction. Like, this was a One Direction fan fiction. And when they're playing at Coachella, I'm like, that's One Direction. I listened to the songs, like, on purpose. Like, you could throw those on any of One Direction's albums. I'd be like, yeah, duh. I almost like the movie more than the book. Okay, we're gonna talk about Heartstopper. I could throw up. I love these novels and I love the show so much. Casting is how more perfect could that get? Kit Connor as Nick Nelson, Joe Locke as Charlie Spring, already perfect. And then, what is Elle's name in real life? Yasmin Finney as Elle. Will Gao as Tao Su. I love Will Gao and the Weijia Project so much. And who else is in there? What's her name as Nick's mom? That was perfect casting. Also, Isaac, love him. Kizzy as Darcy, and freaking, oh my god, why can I not remember? These are like my favorite people that I follow, and I can't even think of her. Is her name Corinna? I was low-key stalking all the Heartstopper people yesterday because of Joe Locke's or was it Toby Donovan's post? One of them posted something. I think it was Toby Donovan. I love Toby Donovan's Instagram. He's my favorite. Corinna is her name. Anyway. And then Rhea Norwood is Imogen. Oh my god, she's so funny. Like, I want to, like, eat this book. You know, and the movie, or shows. Every time a season came out, I watched it in one sitting. And I think having Alice Osman, be so involved in the creating of the show. There's a video of her talking about how they really had to develop Tao and Elle's relationship for the show because it's not that, like, it's a part of the books, obviously, but it needed to be more developed for the show. And I even, like, forgot that they weren't as involved in the graphic novels because of how well the show goes with the graphic novels. And I love the actors. Like, I love all of them. Sebastian Croft, I'm so sad he's not there anymore. Obviously he's a bad person, but in the show, I think he's chill in real life. Now we're gonna talk about one I did not like. Daisy Jones and the Six. Huge spoiler with this. The whole point of this fucking book is that Billy and Daisy, nothing ever happens. And then they kiss in the show. Like, do you hate me? I almost didn't finish the show after that. I was like, hey, what the fuck? I do think the casting and the chemistry for this was amazing. Just the band was casted so well. Again, like, the chemistry and the fact that they learned how to be a band for the show. Like, okay, commitment. Okay, now we're gonna talk about conversations with friends and normal people. I talked about this a little bit in my last video. These TV show adaptations are what made me realize that books need to be turned into TV shows and not movies. Because you got these books in the shows almost verbatim, if not exactly the same as what is going on in these books. I also think the casting for both of these shows was perfect. I need Beautiful World, Where Are You to be turned into a show so bad. I don't know why that hasn't happened, and I'm really mad about it. But, and I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal, chef's kiss, obviously. I know Paul and Daisy want to do a season 2 of this. I don't think they should, unless Sally Rooney writes another book. So I think they should just let sleeping dogs lie, but obviously they can't stay away from each other, so. you know? Okay, so I haven't seen the movies for the next two, but I still want to talk about them. Frankenstein. I'm not watching the movie. I loved this book. I had to read it for school. I'm sure the movie's fine, but like I'm not into old movies. Like, you're lucky you got me reading this. Like, I'm not into old stuff. I wish I was. Will not be watching that movie. I thought it got canceled at one point. I'm not having the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively discourse on my channel. That's not, go to fucking TikTok for that. Okay, Foe. I read this because Saoirse Ronan and okay, what is there fuzz floating around my room? I was like, I should read the book. I really liked this book. And the movie was pretty good. I think it was really close to the book. I did watch it months and months after I read it. I thought it was good. It got a really bad Rotten Tomato score. I mean, I guess if I didn't know what it was going into it, the trailer is really misleading, if we're being honest. So I think that's probably why. I kind of didn't like the movie, just because seeing this story visually was really hard for me. The premise is they have to send people to space to fucking live on another planet or something to test it out, and they want to give you a copy of your partner, to live with while they're gone, so you're not lonely. But then Saoirse Ronan's character falls in love with a fake thing of Paul Mescal's character. I don't remember their names. And oh, I don't know, just like cloning and AI and climate change. It was just hard to watch. I don't know, things always seem a little nicer when I read them, and then watching it was like, oh god. Okay, Call Me By Your Name. This was another one I did reverse. Saw the movie, read the book. Book is great. Movie is great. Casting was good. I mean, Armie Hammer. But I think Elio's parents were casted super well specifically. And I also think Timothée Chalamet as Elio was... is that his name? Yeah, Elio and Oliver. I think the casting and the chemistry was amazing. How many times can I say casting, chemistry, take a shot every time I do it? Don't do that, actually. Okay, so in Where the Crawdads Sing, what's the girl's name? Kaya. She is supposed to be like a feral person, and she's like done up and clean in the movie. She's supposed to be dirty and unkept. She lives in the marsh and has been since she was a child by herself. And you're telling me that her hair looks nicer than mine. Nope. I think they really missed the mark on this movie. I also don't think Daisy Edgar-Jones should have been Kaya. Not because I think she did it poorly. I just think it should have been someone else. Okay, now we're going to talk about my favorite, My Policeman. So this is one of those things where I was like, oh, these actors are going to be in it. I should read the book too. Obviously, Harry Styles was in the movie. Okay, here's the thing about the movie and the book. They are very different. However, even though the movie was entirely different, it got across the exact same feelings and emotions that the book gave. I think the stuff they chose to eliminate was done well. Like, for example, Marion's relationship with the other teacher, Julia, wasn't as fleshed out in the movie, and I think that was okay. That's one of the things that I wish it was a little more fleshed out, but it was fine. I think that Marion's relationship with Sylvie could have been added a little bit more, but again, it was fine without it. There is one part, this sounds so minor, but to me, it mattered. Patrick's, like, ex, I don't know, this is, like, there were gay people in 1950, that feels bad to say ex. He was blackmailed for being gay, and then he killed himself. And in the movie, he's like, Patrick and Tom are laying there, and he's like, he was beaten to death by a gang of thugs. No, he wasn't. Like, I don't know, just, if there is a movie for something that I read, I will probably watch it. If there is a movie I'd like to see, I will probably read the book first. Yeah, I think that a lot of times film and TV adaptations can be really, really, really bad. But it's great when they're done well. Like, I think they need to take people who like the book and put them on the set. and let them be creative directors. I don't know what the logistics of that would be. If you liked this video, you can like and subscribe, and you can comment videos you'd like me to post. You know, I love a suggestion or two. And also, I have a bookstagram that I run with my best friend Sierra that you can follow. It's at we.can'tread on Instagram. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Subscribe.